So first I want to talk about how I came to be where I am. So I was diagnosed with high-functioning autism at 9 years old, which is a very late time to get diagnosed with autism, actually. Um, Most kids today are diagnosed between 2 and 3 years old. So there obviously is a big difference between a 9-year-old diagnosis and a 2-year-old or younger diagnosis. I started speaking in my high school, in Canton McMillan School District, when I was in 7th grade. Now it's interesting to note that our high school is 9th through 12th. So I was actually a middle school student when I began doing these presentations. And there was a teacher at this high school who taught a leadership seminar for sophomores, juniors, and seniors, who invited me in, or no, not invited me in. Let me rephrase that. To use his quotes, I invited myself in to his classroom to do this presentation. You see, in his leadership course, each year, his students select a nonprofit organization that they do a large-scale fundraiser for. And then they put together like everything you can imagine. Like 4 or 5 years out of this, they've actually brought in a dunk tank to the high school and dunked the principal during lunch. Like it's insane to see what these kids do. It is entirely run by kids at the high school. It's amazing. The year that I was in 7th grade, the cause that they chose was Autism Speaks. And I'd heard about this like through the grapevine and decided, you know what? I had been through a lot at that point. In 7th grade and 8th grade, I was bullied almost on a daily basis, to the point where it was even physical bullying at times. And I decided, all right, I've got 3 doors in front of me here. I could implode, which won't end very well. I could explode, which also won't end very well. Or I could take door number 3 and put my energy and put my anxiety to good use and to educate people. And that's what I decided to do. So in spring of my 7th grade year, I sent this email to this teacher, inviting myself into his classroom to speak to his group of sophomores, juniors, and seniors on what autism is. And it was a heck of a risk for him to take to be able to do this. Think about it from his perspective, and especially if you're a teacher. You have this kid that you don't even know emailing you and saying, hey, I've got autism. I want to come in and teach your class for you for a day. That could easily get very hairy, as he puts it when he does his intro. And I still go back to the high school to do this presentation to this day. Whenever he first saw that, he's like, well, I could say no, and not knowing me at all. I could have the 6 o'clock news cameras shoved in my face asking why I didn't let Tim come in and talk. But on the flip side, if I do let him come in and everything just blows up in our faces, I've got the 6 o'clock news cameras shoved in my face asking what the heck was wrong with me and why did I even think this was a good idea. Luckily, he's the kind of guy that throws the dice. And because of Rick Bell, I am where I am today. So for the past 11 years of my life, I've done presentations to various groups of people, from high school students to veteran teachers, on how autism affects me and generally what it is. So I presented in the Canton McMillan School District, the Burgettstown Area School District, the Seneca Valley School Districts, all large areas around Pittsburgh. West Liberty University in West Virginia, Point Park University in downtown Pittsburgh, Slippery Rock University in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, Carlow University in Oakland, Pennsylvania, Mercyhurst University in Erie, Pennsylvania, and the University of Pittsburgh, where I'm an alumni and a graduate student. I also spoke at the Intermediate Unit 4 Transition Conference along with Dr. Vogel, and I presented at the Patton Transition Conference in State College last year. I've done a presentation for the PNC Enable group. That's their learning community surrounding disability awareness. I've spoken to their group, and I've actually done a training for the University of Pittsburgh Police Department. As I've said, I'm currently attending the University of Pittsburgh. I have my Bachelor of Science in Applied Developmental Psychology, and in just about 25 days, I will graduate with my degrees in Instruction and Learning and my certification to teach pre-K to 4 Gen Ed and pre-K to 12 Special Ed in the state of Pennsylvania.